Welcome to Eugene Jams. It's Dave P. Right here, and I've got this wonderful young lady online today, this morning, and you'll be able to see on YouTube as well. But her name is let me put Dr. Precious Toe or Apostle Dr. Precious Toe, or should I say Dr. Apostle Precious Toe? I'm just saying. So, but anyway, to me, Precious Toe, because I know she's not like that, and some people with names, and she's so humble, but a wonderful, beautiful angel she is. Especially sent by God to really like in power, especially when it comes to a lot of women, be it young or old, because she has an event coming up real soon. Women of Worship. I think it's Women Worship. I think it is.
Yeah.
Correct me on that one if you like. I have to say good day to you, Apostle Precious Toe, or Dr. Precious Toe, or Precious Toe, I could say. Anyway, how are you today?
I'm doing good. Thank you, Dave.
You're
And
doing
you?
good. I'm doing all right, thank you. Am I right on the title in terms of like the Women of Worship? Is it Women Worship or Women of Worship or Women?
Women worship.
Women
Women
worship.
worship.
Women worship. Women who go to worship. Women who get on their knees and pray. Women who worship God
Yes.
entirely, faithfully, and even though they may be going through troubles and trials, they still worship God. I
Mhm.
think that's where the real strength is, anyway. I have to say, um, I really do admire you, and I'll tell you this, right, because I have been watching for a long time in terms of how you deliver your messages. Especially when I go on online on social media. You're preaching, or you're speaking, or you're talking, or you're teaching. It's very powerful. And I remember the first time I met you. I think it was a UGN Jams get together sort of
Yeah.
event. And
Yes.
I looked at you and I thought, oh, is that Precious? Oh, wow, good to see you, blah, blah, blah. Then I think the next day, I went online, I thought, wow, wait a minute. I'm trying to draw a comparison here. I didn't know she could preach like that. I didn't know she could talk like that. Very, very powerful woman of God, right? But I know there's a history behind that. I know there's a testimony. But how are you feeling today? And I know your event is coming up on the 24th, I do believe. Uh, it, that is something, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I'm
Mm,
feeling good because it's every year, so it's not always perfect in the beginning, but then you eventually it happens.
mhm.
Because you just have to do it. Get up and do it with the team that you have. And God has blessed me with a good, good, good team.
He
It's
has.
just three of us, but then you would think there's a mighty
Hey,
army behind us.
hang on,
Yeah.
hang on, hang on. There's three of you.
It's just three of us with the whole planning and the financial and everything. But then you see that it goes really beautiful on the day with everything because the spirit, we work together. So
Okay.
when we first started, we started with team of women that wanted to help. But
Hmm.
some people just want to help and then they come on board. And then on the day they disappeared, or 2 days, all the excuses are coming. So then we had to pray and say, you know what, we will do what we have to do. And then
Hmm.
so when you dedicate to someone that is not there, you have to step in as the
Yeah.
three of us, one of us have to say, okay, I'll do this, you do that. So
Mm.
it has been happening that way. And then we feel like the three team was doing good. A three calls cannot be broken, remember?
Wow, wow, wow. Now you're starting. Now you're
Okay.
starting. Now you're starting. No, this is what I'm talking about, people. Did you hear what she just said? It can't be helped, because once you're a preacher, once you a person who can bring the word forth, that's really amazing. Do you remember your first? Do you remember the first one? And I mean, in terms of what was it like? And I'm not putting words. Were you nervous, or did you say to God, "What on earth? What? Don't you think I do enough already?" Yeah.
When I did the first one, it was just me alone planning the whole thing.
Wow.
And then I went to the churches that I used to minister at and asked them to use the hall to pay a certain price. And they were charging me really high prices. And I thought, this is the first time I'm doing that. I've just left a
Mhm.
marriage, divorce, and that was on benefit in between work and some bit of benefit on top. So it
Mhm.
was quite hard, but it's a when God gives you something, He made provisions.
Yeah.
So I went to the Liberian embassy one of the days. They had a meeting and they called me, and I
Yeah.
met this lady called Sarah. She's from this Church of Scientologists. Nobody likes to hear this. And
Mm.
then she just said she get talking with me, and I said, "Oh, I'm having a program on the 24th. Even though you're a Scientologist and I'm a Pentecostan, but I'm inviting you since you come to the embassy and you're doing good things for the people of Liberia."
Hmm.
And then she said, "Oh, well, how about the hall?" And I said, "I don't have a hall yet, but I have a date, and I'm just inviting you by faith." She said, "Oh, we use our hall. You can use it free." I'm like, "No." And I said, "But it's a Scientology hall. People wouldn't come." She said, "Do you want the hall or you're worried about the name of the place?" And I thought to
Whoa.
myself, "Oh wow!" Even those that I went to said, "Pay this amount," and I didn't have it. So I the first one, 2018, I
Yeah.
used the Scientology hall, and they gave it to me free, and that made it go really good. And then we had like 300 plus people, and that was the first one. 300 people, they couldn't fit in the hall, and you know about health and safety and all of that. So yeah,
Hang
and
on.
God did it His way.
Scientology
Yes, in Warren
me-
Street. Yeah,
meets, I know the one, I know the one, meets Christianity and allowing you to use the hall, which was just pretty amazing. Oh,
yes.
wow. Wow. That's really a blessing,
Oh
isn't it?
wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
300 plus people came, but because of the amount of people, you have to be very careful. So when you did it on your own, how were you feeling inside, because there must have been a lot of pressure.
Very a lot. I was scared. I
Yeah.
was panicking, and I was saying to myself, I'm at this when I collapse, I collapse. There's nothing more I can do from there onwards. I even had to pawn some of my cameras to pay the instrumentalists. Because when people promise you, they don't keep the promise. But when, like I say, it's a vision that has been there for a long time. And it has to come to pass because God was saying it is the time. However way you have to do it. But he gave me a blueprint and I went away from the blueprint and I trusted some few people that said I will do this and I will do that. And
Mhm.
then they didn't turn up with what they promised that they're going to do. So
Right.
I had to, because you brought these people. It's a live event, live band.
Mhm.
Musicians love to, we're coming to worship God. It has to be for God and of God and be beautiful. We don't want to have a second plan with that. So I had to do what I have to do to make it happen. And after the fact, to make sure everybody have a good story to tell, because it's the image of God you're representing, it's not yours. So
Right.
whatever
I
I
see.
had to do to make it work, I had to do that.
I remember coming to what was it number, is it the third one? No, I can't remember. But I
You came
remember
to the fifth one.
the fifth one. Okay, I came
You
to the
came to
fifth
the
one.
third, the fourth one and the fifth one.
Uh, oh, really? Okay, so
Yeah.
the fourth and the fifth. I have to say, right, it was pretty amazing because uh I've never been to one like that before because when I walked in, because I know I met this gentleman, I forgot his name. He's either one of your helpers or pastor, a white guy, white gentleman, right?
Matthew.
Matthew, that's it, Matthew. And he was so polite to us, right? It was really good. And when we sat down at the front, I sat there and I thought, wow, this is something. But I know it's a lot of hard work behind it. You can see what was going on, and you hear the speeches and you see the awards. But what got me is you recognized most of the women, even those who we didn't even know they were doing something in the community. Is that your heart? Is that in your heart? Is that what you intend to do? Was that your intention, really?
That's what God said. He said, when people go through the things that they go through, nobody understands. And those that have already have the platform, they already have their platform. Someone gave it to them. But then sometimes people don't look back to say, I came from here, so I need to
Mhm.
go back and search for those that nobody knows that
Mhm.
is there. And then he said, bring me worship that is unheard of.
Mhm.
Bring me sound that nobody is hearing, but is genuine for the season and this time. And
Mhm.
then, when you have those that have made it, you call them, they're telling you all these big, big stories. And some of them will ask you, do you have this person on your program? That means your program is not good if this famous person is not on it. So then the Lord said, that's not what I was looking for. I want you to bring them to worship and then you give them something in return. So all these people, He directs me to them. Sometimes I'll be sleeping, I'll see them, and sometimes Dr. Heather will just in her spirit said, this person says, let's email this person. This person is doing something that we do not know about. And then when we speak to them, sometimes you cry on the phone. You can't do too much for them. You just say, listen, yeah, we have to promote you and give you to people that we know. So we connect. If they're actress, we have Nollywood actresses, Hollywood
Wow.
actresses. We got all of that connected. So we just introduce them to these people.
Yeah.
Or if they're story writers, we introduce them. It's up to them now to understand what they've got, to use that platform and be polite enough to get what they need to get. And if
You-
they're musicians and they don't know how to record properly, then we now introduce them to the best producers there are
Oh, that's
that we
brilliant.
know about, that
And
will
you
not
know what?
charge them too much.
I find it interesting because, and I think if you hear me on this one, it's to do with appreciation as well. Because sometimes many people go through life and they don't feel appreciated for the work that they're doing, and if even if you're by yourself or you have a family, you don't feel appreciated and nobody sees your work. But when you recognize that fact, just like you said, that God can give you the vision, I think that is a miracle in itself, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is beautiful. People must be thinking, well, who's Precious Toe anyway? I mean, come on. We need to know more about this young lady because what's your background anyway in terms of what work did you do before? What are you doing now? What's your background? Because I
Um,
understand I understand it's something to do with law or you're a hard worker, you're a mother as well.
yeah.
Well, we know you're a preacher. I mean, that's something good for me anyway. But still, but what's your background? What's your background?
Well, first, I'm Liberian, like we were just discussing and laughing
Mhm.
about it. I'm from Liberia, so I'm a child of war, that girl child that was in the war zone that got brought out.
What
So
literally in the war zone is literally like it.
yes, I was literally there, see everything, saw everything. And
Wow.
then my mother then was in Great Britain, so she applied for me. So I had a brother then, and he passed away during the war. So she brought me to Ghana, and then I went to school in Ghana till I came to the United Kingdom.
Mm.
So my thing is really where you come from, you pick people up. I'm a mother, and I've got 5 children.
You got what?
5 children. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No.
Don't be shocked. You haven't seen all of them. So I do. My first is 25 years old, and she's a lawyer. She took
Wow.
after her mom. So
Wow.
yeah, I work around my children because I have 2 children with albinism, and I
Mm.
couldn't have the time to go take them to appointments and things because I had no help at the time. So I
Mm.
had to leave my profession as a law or a lawyer to work around the a teaching, and that's why I opened my own nursery, and I'm able to get up and take them wherever they need to go because of their vision impairment.
Yeah.
And then the ministry and what God is giving me all the time, and just supporting women in domestic violence, supporting young people, teenage pregnancy, helping the families to cope with it instead of kicking the children out of the house. If
Mm.
you work with your child and she goes through the pregnancy and then you help her with the baby as a mother, it will give her a brighter future than kicking her out of the house. I know our African family don't resonate with that, but that is the best thing ever than you kicking the child.
Yeah.
And her future is not going to be the way it's supposed to be
Hmm.
because no help, no support, and she
Yeah.
might end up being, left behind by a lot of things that she would have achieved. And
Mm.
also, we talk to young men as well, and a lot of things we do there just to make the society not better, but to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
But you're
help
helping
marriages.
you're helping you're helping individuals anyway. So you're helping I mean I'm really glad that you said that about helping women and you said something about African in terms of like because I think some West Indian parents are like that when they hear something which is traumatic or kind of shameful, kick them out now. No. And that's your son or your daughter. You need to be there for them. Actually when the child comes now, oh my goodness me, what a blessing because children are a blessing.
Yeah.
God bless it. You can be upset as you want, but when God blesses you, He still blesses you, especially with children as well. At the end
Yes.
of the day, how did you manage to? Well, it's a bit of a strange one because getting into ministry, this is another one. I mean, how did you because an artist first, yeah, singer, which I didn't know.
I try.
With a couple of years ago, I found out when I saw some music. I went, wait a minute, and is this a full album?
Yeah.
I, and I had to ask for it. I said, "Well, hold on, whoa, 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 hold on here," And then there's the ministry side of that. How did that happen? You sort of like, talking to people or preaching. How did that happen?
Well, growing up, I've never wanted to be leader, really. I didn't want to be in no leadership position because I
Wow.
don't like confrontation. I don't like arguments. I just want people to be happy. But then with time you realize that you can never
Yeah.
cover yourself for people to be okay. So every time they were doing ordination in our church, I would run away. I don't take a holiday so they don't ordain me or anything.
Oh
Then
wow.
I come back just in the choir, stay in the back, or a music minister, even at that. So I didn't think I was fit for being a minister because my previous church, I went through divorce with my ex-husband for domestic
Mhm.
violence and things, and the things they spoke into me made me not understand that I was worthy to lead
Right.
anybody, or I was worthy to even stand in their place where to be celebrated. So I'm still healing from those kind of things as well. But then when I got to do the things I was doing, the ministers of God, when I was worshiping the church I was running at, they actually ambushed me and ordained me as a reverend. Because the way they did it was interesting. They bought the clothes, they did everything. I've done the Bible school. I thought I was doing the Bible refreshment for myself and because
Oh,
I was preaching, not knowing they were doing it just to confirm me as a reverend.
oh
And then
no.
on the day they just came, all the ministers were coming to the church, and I was wondering what they're doing here. And then like
Oh,
we're ordaining precious to them. I'm like, no, I didn't. This is not what I wanted. But then I was stuck in the middle of these people dressing me up. The women were dressing me while the men were getting ready to do the
wait a
laying of
minute.
hands.
They actually, as you walked in, they actually were dressing you.
Yeah, and I announced it saying we have an ordination on Sunday. I didn't even know it was
You.
me. I didn't know it was me. So when I saw them, the woman said, "Come to the bathroom, please." The pastors went to say, "Come to the bathroom." Like, I don't want to go to the toilet. I'm fine where I am. She said, "Precious, please, I need to talk to you." No, there was two other women in there, and they started putting the cars, the everything, the outfit, and there was the perfect size. I had no clue how they knew my size, and I came out and ordained reverend. And I thought,
Wow.
these people are not playing with me. And from their own words, that's how I.
It reminds me of certain characters in the Bible because even though they may have their troubles and things being said about them, or they've been through turmoil or whatever it is, right? And the thing is, with you going by what you said, God always has a plan because it comes down to experience, really. Because sometimes you can lead, but if you have no experience, if you have no prayer life, how can you lead?
Yeah,
You know, if you're not a child of God, how could you lead? How could you know who God is when you come out of the when you go into the fire and come out as pure gold, so to speak? So with you, oh my goodness me, that right there is a shock. I just hope that doesn't happen to me at all. Just,
I'll keep praying. There's
no,
secrets
no,
happening
no,
in my.
because yeah, when we pray for something where God is concerned, yeah, okay, I got his back.
I
What
got you.
happens next? No. So even that, do you remember the first time being ordained and then speaking? Because I guess something more happens inside of you that you've got to deliver this message or make sure people are accountable for certain things and yourself being accountable to God for whatever you say and
Yeah.
for whatever they receive as well. What was your first? Do you remember that? How were you
I
nervous?
was very careful from their own words because
Mm,
to not say negative things because I always say I'm not this good and I'm this and that. But then when you're standing before people, you can bleed on them. You
yeah.
have to go through your healing process again and make sure that you're ready to stand where you're standing. And
Mhm.
then when you're talking from a different point of view now, whereas you need to be able to be corrected, lended, and unlearn the things that you've learned that was bad to your spirit and your detriment in the first place.
Mhm.
Because now the spirit of which you're using to lead people cannot be a rebellious spirit, an angry spirit, a bitter spirit. It will transfer to them no matter who you are. Because as you lead, the time will come when you will burst out in
Yeah.
those things and people will feel it from your messages. So it taught me to be, instead of I read books, but then I read the Bible more, and then I
Mm.
research more of the things that I knew, but then into deeper things. So I have my rabbi friends, my Jewish friends. When I
Mhm.
don't understand something now, I go to them because I know now we're doing the work without the title in the first place. But
Oh,
when the title is attached to you, people see that and they expect more from you because of what they're hearing you being called like. So if I go and evangelist to the young people today, then I'm precious. Sometimes I go with my blown hair, and then they said, "You don't look like a woman of God." And I'm like, "What does a woman of God look like?" And then it,
exactly.
it
Thank you.
helps you win them to Christ because you're not going with your wings like that. But then you understand because, like you said, the experiences you have make you able to adapt to every situation that is around you.
Mm-hmm.
And that can put you in trouble as well, because even in the church that you worship, people misunderstand you. They
Yeah.
think, oh, she thinks she's all that, or she's too good. No, the experience that we've been through has matured us to the thing, spiritual maturity and physical maturity, that you don't want to do just anything, and you don't want the church to be just anyhow. Because when I go to work and I wake up in the morning to set up my nursery, is perfect. The children
Yeah.
has to come to a peaceful and perfect place. I don't want to go to church where everything is just all over the place and people are catching feelings because they feel like they're able to do. But you can't do that at work.
No.
So I've learned that I have a confidence with God now to keep unity, like he said, and that we need each other. So I know I can't do it alone, but I cannot do it without my sisters. But yet I have to fit in the gap where it's empty. Doesn't mean I can do everything, but I will try and do it if I have to.
You know,
So it's a lot of work.
you're the woman. You're the woman for the moment. I guess not for the moment, but for the future, because women worship is. I mean, you don't want to talk about, especially with young ladies who are coming up, and they see the kind of older generation and said, "Oh my goodness me, if it's because of you, I saw this, and now I'm inspired even more. So I want to stay where I am, and even the help you're giving as well. What you said about helping the young ladies or men as well. Can I ask a question? Is there going to be a sort of between me and you an awards for
It's a
for
secret.
um, for good husbands or for men?
No, we repent on that one for now. We repent. We repent.
No, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna steal that. You just never know. One day, it's not that there's no such thing as jealousy in my bones.
Helen.
But still, you know what? I have to commend you because coming up real soon on the 24th of August, and I know it's gonna be. I know it's a lot of hard work. And when you said this, I thought there was a big team. You said there's three of you. I thought it
Three
was a
major
massive
people.
team. So it looks like it's a massive team. That's what it feels like. But when you said it's three, now I'm just really inspired now. I might even join myself, see if I can be part of the team as well at the same time. I don't know. What's expected on the 24th anyway? What's expected? What do you expect on the 24th?
It's gonna be glorious. It's different set of people. So we try not to award the same people all the time because we still have to find hidden talent. So we got
Oh.
different set of people from America, Jamaica. This time they're coming from afar.
Hmm.
And we're in Europe more this time, we can receive from the lineup that we've got. And
Hmm.
so we don't do the voting system like because sometimes we vote and we always vote those people that people know. And then
Hmm.
you forget those that their names are not being heard of. And so with most of the world, you see that those that people know always gets the award, and those that have been striving and going to the studio and spending their money. We first of all we listen to what you have, read the bio of the person, and then
Good.
we just say, you know what? Make sure we encourage this person by giving them this. And then when you give it to them, they do blow and they go places and they call you, I'm in America, thank you. So we're
Wow.
expecting for women to heal. We call this year She Glows, and we are looking at Hannah. When Anna lost her husband,
Oh
she
yeah.
went into the temple. You didn't hear of her again until the day God was ready to bring her out. So when
Hmm.
the woman is in her secret place and brewed into the Spirit of God, we come out refined and we come out glorified. And then people will see you and you will know how to honor and respect because you have been in a secret place and you've learned things that opening your mouth all the time does not really work for you. You honor your husband, your children, you respect them. So we're looking at Anna this year and we say she glows. A woman will glow through every situation, every problem that she goes through because she has a prayer life and she solidly has a boundaries that she lets people in, but she knows when to stop and when to do the thing. And the woman that rests as well. Hannah was able to rest while she was in the temple. She wasn't just all over the place. And I know that's one of the things you talked to me about. Precious, go and rest, get off the
Oh,
phone.
as soon as I heard that part, I was just gonna interrupt you there and say that being one of the leaders and one of the because it's a team effort really at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I was gonna say do you actually rest? I mean, do you
I
actually
try
rest?
since you've been scorning me and Heather's been scorning me. I've been resting, but it's
Hmm.
within me. From 2 a.m. I can't sleep anymore, Dave. Till
Hmm.
now I can't sleep, so I'm trying.
Resting is not about as you know, resting is
Yeah.
not about sleeping.
No,
Resting is about just You could be just sitting down, your feet up,
Yeah,
have somebody bring you something to drink, a herbal tea, a cup of tea, or coffee, whatever you have,
yeah.
and just sitting there and just doing nothing, where your head is just,
I don't know about that one. Because I have like millions things as I'm talking to you, million things running through my head now.
yeah,
So I do watch the Korean dramas. I like Korean dramas and my
you're like
children
me.
see. Yeah. And then my father used to say to me, even if you can't read the whole book, try and read a summary of the book and get
Yeah.
something into your maybe three book summaries. And then when you're ready, you go into the books and then you read your Bible. And then I like music. So I'll be working in the music is on, and that's good for me. And it
Mm,
relaxes me. We don't go out often. So those things. And then
mm.
once in a while, I just go out and relax by myself and come back. It works. You
So
have
tell
to.
me, so tell me now, because and I say I'm wondering, but I'm just speaking on behalf of the people.
Uh-huh.
I'm wondering, do you get time to go and to yourself to kind of like pamper yourself, to work out, to go to the gym or walk around the block or do some boxing, some karate? I don't know, do you get time to do all that or
You
you
don't want
don't?
me to do boxing, Dave. No, I do go for a walk on the grass
Okay.
in the parks. And
Yeah.
I go out with my friends. I give her a headache. When I'm tired, I call and I give her a headache on the phone. That's for an hour is enough to give her stress
Mhm.
because it takes her time to one. And I've been just 5 minutes away from the house. I just go, we go for a walk. Or I
Good.
just go and eat and come back.
Oh
So,
wow.
not far. Just go and eat and come back.
I hear
I
you.
like my food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you.
So yeah, that's the things I do, and just read and stay. My father
Oh
used
no.
to say to me, "You
Go
don't
on.
go where you don't achieve anything." So I'm very mindful where I go. So yeah,
So we wow. I like that one as well. Why
yeah.
is it the older generation always seems to have these words? We should, oh, I think my father was like that. He used to be like that. He still is, and he'll say something. What was that, Dad? What? And you didn't get until as you get older. As you get older, you go, oh, now
It
I
is,
understand what you're talking about.
yeah,
That
yeah.
sort of thing. So it's your chance now because this is for you, um, Apostle Precious Toe or Doctor Precious Toe. I know you don't mind because sometimes people need to know
Yeah.
your apostle and also Dr. Precious Toe. So it's good, but your precious toe as well. And by the way, who gave you the name Precious? Because that's a nice name. Before we go to, is
I
that
asked my mom. She said that was the name she could find in the dictionary, and that's exactly how she said it.
oh
She said she wasn't prepared for the name or she didn't know what child she was having. So, and
wow,
then she just opened the dictionary and there was Precious. So she said, well, you're the only child anyway. So it suits you.
Precious. That you know what? And it fits you well, it suits you well, and it suits your character, it really does indeed.
Thank you. Thank
So the
you.
floor's all yours because of course on the 24th, women worship, where you're going to tell them, in terms of where it's going to be held.
Okay.
On that date. So, people, listen up very carefully. You better have a pen and paper handy because we're
Oh,
going to give you some
dear.
information. Here she is right now. Go ahead.
We're
Go
gonna
ahead.
be having women worship on the 24th of August, and it's gonna be in Croydon right here where I'm resided, and it's gonna be at the Builder Church, and it's gonna be powerful. And I pray that everybody will be able to make it. So women worship is more of we're looking beyond the voices, we are looking beyond the talent, we are looking beyond all that you have to give. Because we are looking for the spirit of a woman that is able to lead another woman into a great season, a great time of her life. So we say empower one woman, empower all women. And it's like having a baton and you have to give it to the next woman, not having it and you're keeping it to yourself. And then a generation would die under your wings because you're not ready to give her what you have. And when Jesus was on this earth, he gave what he could. And hence we are here talking about him today. Is you leaving a legacy by taking other women and their families to where they need to get to. Because if you support a woman, a village is saved. If you help a sister that is dying or listen to her problem, we build sisterhood to be able to support each other. So we're not building a gossiping team. A good gossip is good, but we want to have a communication that is not corruptible, but a communication that will build each other up. So it will be happening in Croydon here on the 24th of August. You can check our Facebook page, Women Worship, Instagram, Women Worship, and Twitter, Women Worship. And we're on TikTok now, Women Worship. And all the information is there. If you don't have your tickets, still come and celebrate other people that are being celebrated and empowered ourselves for the moment and for the kingdom of God. And it's going to be pure worship this time. So we tend not to give out too many awards, Dave, this time. So we just worship and hold each other as women.
You know what? I don't know what else to say after that because you did it. You did it so well. Have you done this before?
Well, you taught me how to do these things.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
I'm on UVH. You trained me, remember?
You know what? I have to say, I really do appreciate you taking time out. You know, you got a wonderful character, and I know you, especially you and Heather as well, and the rest of the team. But especially when you said, yeah, I could call Heather up and get on the phone for an hour and try to stress her out as well. I understand that. Sometimes when I try to call Heather, I can't get through. So now I know it's you. So, so now I know it's you.
That's me.
Right? But still, um, just give us a little encouragement for because you know teenagers right now, um, young women and young men are going through, and we may not see it, but some of them are going through problems, and sometimes they don't speak about it because they might be afraid to talk to their parents or older generation. But if possible, and I know some of them are listening and watching right now, I'll probably just stumble across this video on Facebook, on YouTube. If we can just encourage some of our youngsters who are sort of future, the next generation. Yeah? You don't mind doing that?
Yeah.
Mm.
I believe in having a some of the young people, like you said, they don't have a strong family background because some of us parents are still in our pains, and I went through mine, and I believe that that's why we have the church and other places, counseling places available, but we that we are in the Christendom has to start opening our arms to these young people. And then I think we, like I said to someone, the Bible was written in the different times, and now we're in a different time as well. That's why you have the experience, not to rule you, but to guide you through the Bible as well. So we need to have an open mind as adults to know that these young people, they're really struggling. From the children that I have, I understand that sometimes they find it hard to talk to me because I'm an African parent. If
Yeah,
my daughter said, Mommy, I have a boyfriend, I want to shout, then I remember if I shout, she won't come back next time.
yeah,
She would rather find some comfort somewhere to go and speak to them. It might be the wrong people. We need to learn now to start talking to our children more, telling them things that we didn't understand. Like, for instance, I'll say plain here, we never talk about sex with our parents.
mhm,
Even I'm gonna be 44, and my mom's sitting there, and then that kissing scene comes on, I run out of the living room
yeah,
because it's not something that we know. But we need to learn to talk to our children about these things, how people will manage them, how people will talk to them in the street. Because now you see our young girls are out there with babies and they're struggling. I
uh,
met a young girl 2 days ago sitting in the street, and I said, "You look too." She said, "Give me 1 pound." I said, "No, you look too young to be sat here. Why are you here?" She said, "Because I lost everything. My child has been taken by social service." And I'm asking, "Where is your mom?" She said, "Mom didn't care, so mom kicked me out." So that's a damaged young woman right there. You don't expect her to be good for somebody's son. You don't expect her. So I said, I will be your auntie. Call me whenever you want, and I will put you in the bed and breakfast. And then let's see what we can. So you have friends with the council, and we get to connect these young people to say, please help them. How can we help them? How can we give them a Madonna's job? How can they get back to school? Even though the system is not built for that, but when you go out of your way to do that, you're helping your children in advance as well. And so we need to start helping these young people in the street, not insulting them. I know they come on the buses and they're shouting. They're
yeah,
just being tough because that's what they feel that they have to be like. So please, let's wake up from our high horses and be able to help our children, to help other children as well. Make your children better people in the home. So when they go out into the society, they will preach love and preach, powerful things that will help other children to say, I want to be like you and be where you are. And let their words be in season as well when they're talking to older people, not insulting them. And please take care of your children, pregnant or no pregnant. She is your child. Whatever decision you make today determines their future, and it determines where they're going to be tomorrow and where they're not going to be tomorrow. So it's not the witches in the village, but it's our decisions that we are making for now, for the future, and the words that we are speaking over their lives as well. So I pray that we do listen and do the right thing by our children in this generation and this time.
That is really remarkable. I really appreciate you saying that because each child they're just in need of love. They want to be loved at the end of the day. And every human may not want it, but still most human beings, they want to be loved. They want to be listened to. And I really commend you for that. Thank you so much. That really has touched my heart. That really has indeed.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, so looking forward to the 24th, and that's going to be pretty good. And I know it's going to be sort of. I know you guys love to dress up, and there's nothing wrong with dressing up. There's nothing. No, there isn't anything wrong with it because
But you did. Well, you won the best dress last year. We just didn't give you the certificate. We forgot.
Oh, I
You
did.
came and you brought it, but then you were not a woman. So why did you dress better than everybody in there?
I did.
You did. Ask Laurie Keto. She'll tell you.
Oh wow!
You dressed best
Wow!
with your
Oh
suit and
my
your
God!
beard and everything to match. Oh Lord, help
Oh
us.
yes, I remember that. Oh wow! I'm
Please don't come dressed better than the ladies next time.
I'll try to, but you know what, you can't, I can't help it, and I have to say this is the reason why, because my wife, you can wear that if you want to, and
Yeah.
then I understand because my wife says you can wear that. I goes, okay, I understand, and then I have 7 sisters, so I have to dress really good. So at the end of the day,
Wow.
Dave, you can't go out like that, not to events. And my wife says, mm-mm, you need to look smarter than that. So yeah, so
Oh, that's
wow.
beautiful. It's nice, but you did.
I'm in shock now. It must have been very hard to keep the females quiet on that one, isn't it? So it
Oh
must be the
yeah,
best.
we
Yes,
got some
must
text
have
that we
been-
can show. I told them you're married with 7 children, by the way.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I remember. I remember. It's all right. I've been in that situation before. We go. Oh, I went. You see that?
Yeah, yeah.
It doesn't really matter. Yes, it does to me. But it does to me. You know what I mean? You know what, Dr. Precious, thank you so much for your time. And it's been, I've been waiting to speak to you for a long time. And I think there's no time like the present, especially when God is involved. This is a beautiful thing. It really is. And I know you're on Newgen Jams on the Tuesdays, and your message is doing really well. And I tell you what, one day we're going to sit down and we're going to talk about a message. I think it was last year when you spoke really openly about yourself, the things you've been through, because I was totally blown away. Because I thought, what, but then she's like, what's going on here? But it's God. It really is. And
Yes.
that's how I look at it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dave.
Okay,
Thank you
you're
for
welcome.
having me.